Okay, it's working. That's new. Uh-oh. Ugh. Why? Why this thing doing this to me right now? Fuck. About what? About what? Hold on. Okay, my bad. My bad, my bad. Ah, that's working. Okay. Test, 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 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Okay, good. Whoa. Backtrack. Clip vertical. Why? Damn it. Why it won't stream vertical? I hate this thing. Why does it keep doing that? Holy crap. I hate this. Fuck me. Freaking insufferable. Okay, so we're gonna... Then it stopped? What the heck? That just messed up. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know, man. Maybe there's like a source that uses it too, but... No. Ah. It's a capture card. Ay, ay, ay. I need to adjust that thing. It's bothering me. Okay. Read chat. Thanks for liking the video. Appreciate it. Copy this. Discord. Discord. That's good in the spaces. Yeah, X on desktop is so trash. It bugged again. Oh my god. That's infuriating. Announcements. What the... Sorry. Gotta fix that shit. Cool. Okay, let's fix this. Why does it always do that? I don't get it. Come on, can you just work? See? Good now. Cool. Now that shit better not hit the fan again. Let me see what's wrong with my mic. Okay, test. 1, 2, 3. Upward compressor. I'll just leave it like that. Multi-stream. God damn it. It won't do this stupid vertical. Nope. Vertical source. It is not working. Putain. Whatever. Whatever. Bad channel news. What happened? Okay. If we don't see Tux, what's the point? Brr. Okay. We're going to react to hold on. Hmm. Bunch of debate review. What's going on X? Oh.
During the peak of it all. And so when you look at the difference, it being inserted into every aspect of our lives. It really is. It's so widespread, and so it's just I don't know. I don't know really what to say or do about it anymore, because it even gets abused at the county level, and there's really no. The bar is so low for an emergency to be declared right now that I don't understand how more alarms aren't ringing. So thank you for bringing attention to this. I'm wondering if you have any insight about the first statement I made with
I
declarations of
absolutely do.
emergencies.
I
Okay.
absolutely do, and I don't want to forget it, but on the two documents that are in that thing in the nest up there, if you go to my archive, the title of it is the Trump Cog Anomalies. That titled one of there's two documents. It's the 45-page one. There's a 16-page one and a 45-page one. In that 45-page one, pages 7 through 16 are dedicated exactly to the precedents and whether or not these have ever skirted on taking away constitutional rights, whether or not they've been challenged by a Supreme Court and other uses, or like similar worded ones. And same thing with the directive. So that's pages 7 through 16 on the 45 pages. So it does cover that. That was a very long 45-page one. I read more of this page, the 16-page one, because I didn't want to be here for 20 forever, and like bore everyone to death. But that information that you asked is 100% included in those reports. So it's sections 1.2 all the way through, I think, part 2, 2.2 of part 2. So again, pages 7 roughly through 16 will have all that for you. So that's there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. One other thing, I just really quickly, the data centers. So with the perception of global competition, national defense, as it pertains to China, all these other countries, the race for AI, the ability for them to insert a declaration of an emergency there, executive orders, the effort to take away from states' rights, how that conflicts with state constitutions. There's so much just BS being fed to us when it comes to the data centers, the need for accelerated efforts towards these transitions because of national security and global threats and financial issues, and it's absurd, and I don't know how it's flying under the radar as much as it is right now, considering how much of a priority it is for him and the billionaire tech bros deeply entrenched in the government through the corrupt public-private partnerships. But yeah, I just wanted to add that.
No, thank you. Like I said, I really encourage people, at least if you're going to choose between the two, the 16 or the 45, definitely go for the 45 because it's going to include most of the 16 one anyways. But you're also going to get the breakdowns that now after looking back, I was like, damn, I probably should have read the anomaly ones from this and then run the facts one from the other one. But because it's so much better detailed, maybe not necessarily in conversational readability, but definitely in terms of information dense, I recommend the 45-page one. I mean, that one took hours just for all the information that I put into it to go through this matrix designing, because I'm math retarded. I'm completely aware. I admit my faults. I suck at a lot of things. I'm probably more things than I even know I suck at. But I do know one of them is like mathematics and equations, and I'm just not good at that. I can admit I'm happy. I love my life. I don't need to be good at math. If other people are good at it for me, I love that. So I didn't do any of the math on this. I let the fucking intelligent computer that's good at computations, I let the computation device do that. But all the information that goes into it, that is what is it's full. I went as deep as I could. I really wanted to be able to answer all possible questions from no matter how bizarre they were. That's in that 45-page one. Like that's really the end all be all right there. At least for everything we talked about, anomalies, directives, executive orders, and the such in every direction. Definitely do save that one. Look at that. It's free. I'm not going to take it down. If it ever gets taken down, I didn't take it down. Sometimes the archive accidentally deletes stuff. Wink, wink. But they do go away. Sometimes. I've had it happen. I've had a lot of them get deleted before, actually, that I did not delete. They just disappear. But yeah, do check that out. It's for everyone. It's free. It's just my archive. You'll also find a trove of other documents I have up there. If you like my COVID research, I also archive my COVID research threads on there as PDF files, free for use, all sourced as always, guys. Always. For you, for free. Why not? You know? Rance, you're back. Did you drop off your lady, or are you guys still at the airport?
Oh no, she's gone. I'm free, man. I'm bacheloring up. You know what I
I'm
mean?
telling her you said that.
So yeah, she's probably listening. Like good for her. Like I've been married with her for what 15, going on 16 years
Yeah,
now.
brag
So
about your perfectness. Go ahead.
yeah, I love
Happy
it. Yeah,
relationship.
it is what it is. But fucking icebreakers, dude. If I hear a goddamn word about fucking icebreakers and my senator getting an
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Alaska, getting an icebreaker. God, dude, like the shit just blows my fucking mind because you can ask anybody up here that actually knows what the fuck's going on up in the Arctic, and it doesn't matter who's got icebreakers, right? Because one F-35, okay, destroys your entire fleet, your entire shipping lanes, okay? Because the cool thing about being in an ice lane is that you can't go the fuck anywhere. So it doesn't matter how much naval presence you have up in the Arctic. Our air superiority, according to my F-35 pilot that lived next door, is 25 years ahead of anybody else in the Arctic. Okay? And this guy runs an F-35 off of Duck Island, out off of the Arctic Ocean, on a 6 week off schedule. Okay? So I'm just saying, icebreakers don't mean shit. I honestly don't believe that the new ice paths are even going to get made, because if you look at the analytical data of what happened last year with the ice caps, they actually increased back to pre-measurable levels when they first started taking measurements of the Arctic ice, and they increased
Hey.
another 30%. So we actually gained more ice. So they actually closed up the ice routes last year than opening them up from global warming. Just a fun fact for you guys out there. Now on to Destiny's little rant. Man, fire
Wait,
girl,
wait,
I
hold on,
missed
hold on.
out.
Before we move on, no one was talking about blowing anything up in the Arctic. We were talking about shipping lanes.
Calm
Yeah,
down,
and I
JP.
just said, and I just gave you an example of why,
Yeah.
like, icebreakers don't mean that you're powerful in the Arctic. Doesn't mean shit. Okay, one, and then two, I explained how the shipping routes really are kind of a myth, which is what I'm going back with Destiny's, is that basically everything they tell you is a lie. All right, so if you believe what they're telling you up here, okay, then you might not understand what the fuck's going on up here.
Wait, the
Okay,
whole U.S. Navy is
is
the
what?
job of the U.S. Navy is to
Okay,
maintain
we're gonna
Hey,
let this
calm
king.
global
down
ship,
talking to Rance like that.
Okay, both of you
global
guys,
right of
chill out,
way.
chill out. Well, you'll get a chance to rebut. Give it a second. Go ahead, Rance.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, like I don't even care like what the rebuttal is on icebreakers. Okay, there's no uh, military strength in it. Okay, my governor, you can go look at Senator Sullivan, and he's got pages and pages of stuff on why these Arctic icebreakers are such a necessity up here in Alaska. Okay, well, if they're such a necessity, why do we keep them in fucking Juneau? Okay, 400 miles away from the closest ice cap. Okay, why are we planning that? Okay, I'm just saying, just fun food for thought. You don't know what you're talking about.
We're
Okay,
talking about
and
the eastern
yeah,
coast of
yeah,
the U.S., not the western.
I live in fucking Alaska.
That's that would be the
Shiz. Where do
western,
you think
sir.
the Arctic trade routes are going to be through? We're going
They're
right
going
up
to
through
be
Alaska, across through Canada. All right, back out to the other side. Routes
no,
that are open now. All right,
actually it goes up the east
Ice
I'm
is
not
coast
even
of
gonna
the
gonna
melt.
justify
U.S.
this with the argument. I got a post on it. I will literally pull that fucking shit up. All right, and I'll put it down in the nest as soon as I get home driving. I didn't want to come up here and talk about icebreakers. I think it's just a dumb fucking topic to talk about. It's a waste of time,
Well, your
Yeah.
name is
waste of brain
Rance.
power.
It is Rance, so I do expect Rance when Rance comes up here.
Okay, so but I wanted to get onto the executive orders, right, that you were talking about, because I think that plays a part. And when you look across the energy and the financial sector up here, when you
I'm
see a
just
lot of these
tired.
security protocols that are already implemented into the coding process of our industries and our indexes, that I always wondered how they got passed, because there's no talk of them. There's no no bill got passed, no law got passed. Someone just sort of said, this is the continuance of government program, and it sort of just override and overseeded basically any oversight. So I'm like, that's really cool that you found that out about like hidden presidential orders, because I did not know that. And that explains a lot of like stuff that I tell Maze, that like, man, they already did this shit, but there's like nothing out here on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's in in the protocols. It's written in black and white. You can read the final result of it. You can look at the coding of it, but you don't know how it got there. You don't know how it got passed. You don't know who talked about implementing it, and there's no record of it, right? And so I think that's kind of cool. So now that's like another little conspiracy rabbit hole. Every time I see something that I can't explain, I'm gonna be like, God damn, secret presidential orders, you know? Yeah. So thanks, fun for that. And no, I'm gonna go back and listen to most of your space because I only got a caught, the last like half hour of it, 45 minutes. But that last 45 minutes was super informative. I did download both of your spreadsheets. I'm gonna go through those because I'm a little nerd rat like yourself, and
Good.
I love to go back and check the sources and read the facts for myself. But I think that this is eye opening. I think a lot of people should start questioning what's
Nigga
weird
yapping.
again, right? Because that's sort of what keeps me up at night is all the weird shit that I can't fucking explain. Nobody can explain. And when I have answers that I need answers in my head, right? Like, are they really going to build the LNG pipeline up here? No, I don't think so, right? Does anybody know what's going on? Well, only one group of people that work with the government, 8 Star, and these guys are tied up with all these tech companies and
Bored.
all these oil companies. And why are we sort of killing Alaska and we're not making Alaska great again, right? Like, you guys got to ask your question: is why does Alaska only have the only presidential order designated to a state? Right, you got to ask yourself this, right? Why do you think that they want you to think that icebreakers need them in Alaska for shipping routes, right? Like, you have to ask your things
This
this,
torture.
because there's other things and other plans that have been in place to make Alaska great, to make the United States super powerful, okay? Since 1969 of infrastructure plans that have just never been completed, because every time we get to the point where we're going to grow Alaska, somebody comes in and shuts us down. You don't ever hear us getting talked about in the news other than like, oh, we're going to get a deal here with some pipeline. We're going to buy some gas. Well, we're not really buying any gas. We're going to sell all of America's gas to China. Okay, but I didn't sign up for that. I bet you guys didn't sign up for that. And I guess you guys don't know that that's what we're actually doing with our gas that we're going to be selling up here. But, it's about making America great, not about making Americans great. And I think that when we actually wake up to understand the fact that, we're being played,
God,
everybody's
this
playing their
motherfucker
part
yapping.
when we're not actually bringing up and talking about all these weird things that are going on. Thanks, Destiny.
Thank you, Rance, and I'm excited when you read those. And I'm certain you will too, because you do like to read these kind of things. And I'm excited to see what your take is, especially on the 45-page one. That's really, really the lengthy one that has all the good meat on it. I'm excited. So when you finish that, whenever it is, and no rush, of course, everyone, we all have lives and shit. But whenever you do, I would like to hear your opinion on it after reading it, because there's a lot of that I didn't cover just because it's so wordy. It's one of those things that really is better just read to yourself than it is read aloud. Unless you're that kind of person that likes audible books, but I'm not an audible book person. Like, verbally, I don't do that for my job, so I'm not going to put you through that here. Um, but I'll be nice about it. Yo, you have your hand up, and then we've got Josie, and we've got Game, and then of course JP. If you wanted to say anything, also I'll put you back into rotation. But go ahead, Yo.
Appreciate it, Destiny, and it's a pleasure to see you rants or to hear you right there. And JP, you gotta respect the rants, man. He's the man. Hey, I was gonna ask us. So you said that they got rid of the architecture company that was doing so, and it looks like they're going with I mean, it should at this point. What
His
doesn't
name
it?
is Shalom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got they got the Clark Construction Group, and then the Shalom whatever that is. So of course, this cop catches my eye for some reason, as everything does or whatever, and they do got ties. But I found it quite interesting. They have ties to the highest, and I mean they're in pretty deep. But the other one, Clark Construction, has deep ties with Oracle. So I just wanted to see if you have. I'm sure you haven't got the deep dive on that after all the shit you just did right there. But I appreciate the work that you did. You got me a lot of little nuggets to go into. But yeah, the Shalom thing, that's very, very weird. So that's who they fired him for. It wasn't for the Clark company. It was the Shalom or whatever.
Well, the company is separate than the actual builder itself. Like, the builder was the main guy on the project. The builder, not necessarily the company or equipment. That's what changed. The designer, essentially, they swapped the ballroom designer, the classical interior designer that does buildings like, Parliament and stuff with classical designs to it, kind of like our White House has a typical classical look to it. So that's normally we would keep it along with historical lines where you would keep the same, patterns. So it looks like it's just new, but it looks no different than the rest. And that's why you would hire those kind of people, because they're masters at the restoration of those old techniques and the old looks. That guy who's perfect for doing that, they let him go, and instead Shlomo, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Shalom, really. It's Shalom Barnes. That's his name. And he also did the Pentagon, like I said, following the cruise missile that hit it. I
It's
mean
something to
plane. I
it's
mean
something to
plane.
look at too, because it's like that Clark construction. They dealt with the Oracle's underground data center in Jerusalem, so that kind of ties in with that, and then it goes to damn man, this is crazy.
Clark does a lot of data center and hardening facilities. They do. Yeah,
Yeah.
Clark is very popular.
I just wish it was like like Portugal, or like some other country, Argentina. No, not Argentina. Some other kind of any other country, but no, man. Why we got to deal with these people so much? Shit.
I don't know why we're doing it, but yeah, just the Shalom, who specializes in hardened systems and high level sensitive infrastructure. Like I said, he did the Pentagon following 9/11. He also has done multiple projects in the DC complex, just not necessarily the PEOC before this. But he was the guy who did the renovations for the White House and other parts of the White House, going back as far as I could see, as far as like 1997, going back to when they did the major renovations of the White House during Bill Clinton's administration, which of course was done by the Mega Study Group, which I could thank Sally for putting me on that information, which of course was the was one of the members was Jeffrey Epstein, of course, was the Mossad tied agency, but it was Jeffrey Epstein was part of that, along with the Bronfmans, the mega group, which is allegedly how they got the wires into tap the phone lines between Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton that ended up in the hands of Benjamin Netanyahu a few years later, magically. So we don't know. It's a lot of crazy things going on with the infrastructure,
Well,
but his name's Shalom Barnes, and they had to fire. I forgot the other guy's
I'm
name, but they had to
tired.
fire him. I don't
the
know if
the
they had a
last
good
thing,
reason, but they just got rid of the other guy.
yeah, the last thing on it, this Clark construction group is catching my eye more, because that guy, it digs in deep with Oracle, which is very tied in with the IDF, and it just feels like just feeling like the ice and shit, and with that, like we're intertwining, what I'm saying, like and I don't like militaries like getting this tight, because this Clark construction group, this is definitely something to look at right there. Anyway, sorry about that. My brain's just starting to get going.
It's okay. Well, look into Clark. Look into SAFE, SAFE. I think it means like oh gosh, strategic something fortified areas. I can't forget the acronym for it. It's one of the most annoying ones because I never remember it, and I swear I've looked it up like 150 times, and I can never ever remember it. But anyways, the safe bunkers. That's the one that they're going to be unveiling in a couple months. By the way, that bunker will seat. Enough room for 625 people to live. 625 exactly, with two each single person, regardless of what, there are like a ranking tier, but there is a minimum price for any of the units. Out of 625 possible units, there is a minimum price at $20 million a pop. 20, just put that in perspective. 20 million actually for the DC area. That's really not that bad. I'm kidding. It's just bad. Like, you guys don't know. You don't live in Virginia. It's awful in Northern Virginia. It's just everything's outrageous. But $20 million to a place that you wouldn't be living there 24/7, right? But if you're gonna pay 20 million, you'd imagine you're gonna live there eventually, right? This is my personal opinion, but let's see if I can do the math on this here. Times, where is it?
You need to do these more. This is very informative.
I was
Um,
gonna say, why couldn't you just live in that bunker?
well, there's a reason why. It's because, well, they still won't show the public where it is. You can look it up all you want. I tried. Google mapping that bitch. You can't find it. Okay, and if you do find it, tell me. I want to go look. I live in Virginia. I'll just drive on up there, start knocking on some doors, find a hatch or something. you know, I like to have fun. I might get shot, probably, but like, you know, I can make a urban ghillie suit. Just, you know, glue a couple homeless people on me, maybe some toss away solo cups and dirty needles, and just pretend to be Northern Virginia for a little bit, and I'll fit right in. By the way, the price tag at the end of the day, Full House, $12.5 billion. That's how much the company's getting. 625 people at 20 million a pop, you're gonna get $12.5 billion. And it's SCIF compliant. That is unique outside of military only installations and government installations. There is no need for SCIF compliance among civilians. I'm going to repeat myself. There is zero need for SCIF compliance among civilians. Why is this all built with SCIF compliance? Game, what the hell?
It's a big club and you ain't in it.
You want to bet? I'm in Virginia. I'll sneak in that bunker. I'm a sneak. First off, they have med beds. Don't argue with me that they're real.
Oh, I saw all that shit, girl. Yeah.
They have med beds. Go look it up. I'm making a thread. I was supposed to do it earlier, but I had a whole bunch of shit I had to do. My puppy has been chewing up everything. It's a stressful time for me, the puppy, right now, because I'm mad at her, but she's cute, so I'm really bad at being mad at her. Anyways, she literally ate my headphones today. That's why I'm not on them right now.
Oh. Can I talk for a little bit?
You can right after we got Josie and Citizen. We go to Lee Line, and then if he wanted to put his hand up,
Right.
he can as well. So you get to wait.
We all love George Carlin.
Yes, we do. I forgot who did I say? Josie, go right ahead. Then
I'm gonna be
Citizen.
quick.
Okay, gotcha.
Just Yodi, you need to check your DMs. Rabbi Ori actually replied, and he's down. So, if you check your email, your DMs once in a while, that'd be great. But you don't. So now I gotta do this, and I hate it. But Destiny, what's up with the bunkers? Like, is it like Cheyenne Mountain, kind of?
Well, there's plenty like Cheyenne Mountain. This would not be like Cheyenne Mountain. Cheyenne Mountain is one of our largest underground facilities, at least publicly knowledgeable. They don't give us perfect specs, but it's one of the largest. And that's a military hardened, purely like granite stone kind of deep. The rumored name is like deep underground military bases, or DUMBs, right? That's considered a DUM. And it's utilized it is in the continuity of operations, but there's a whole slew of them. Most of them that are the big older ones are here up in the eastern side of the United States, Pennsylvania, West Virginia border. Those have a lot. Maryland's got a lot. New York's got quite a few. And Virginia's got quite a lot too. Mount Weather. You've got a lot of the Cold War ones and World War II ones are here on the East Coast, but you also have multiple complexes in Colorado and stuff. So they're all continuity possibilities and potential continuity sites. That's recognized. But the bunker I'm talking about, the Aerie bunker, AERIE. That bunker is a luxury doomsday bunker, which they claim is for elites only. And that's a ticketed price. That's not just because you're government or it's because it's mass evacuation. No, you're not getting in there unless you're paying the $20 million to get in there. And they've got private investment. It's a private company. It's not a government company. The man who runs the company is Al Corbin. He runs it with his wife. They have one of the hardest to find evidence that they even exist. But apparently they will be unveiling this bunker that's right outside of Washington, D.C. on the Virginia side. They'll be unveiling it, I think, as early as June, if I'm not mistaken.
Because the question is, what are they even planning for? Is this just like to flex on the population, or are they really like awaiting anything? Because if it's some kind of natural catastrophe, or even something that would be like nuclear, or with something with the weapons up to date, right? You would need to have something to the effect of earthquake proof, quote unquote. It's not really like a word, but it's underground. Anything underground, really, like it's
actually very safe for earthquakes. Very safe. In most instances, that's where you would get, especially with the right compression. Like Japan has got great technology for earthquake design for infrastructure underground and above, because they have a lot of tunnel systems that have like the train cars in Japan. They do a wonderful job. They're light years ahead of us in terms of earthquake infrastructure. But it's actually fairly safe using the correct methods, and Japan's done a great job of showing that. Same thing with I think it's Norway or Sweden. I forget which one it is. It has like the most bunkers. They have like enough for everybody there. I forget which country it
Probably
is. It's somewhere
Norway.
in Europe. It's probably,
Sounds
I think it's Norway.
sounds like
Yeah, it's one of the
something Norway
countries.
would do.
Yeah, and they have plenty then, and they don't have a lot of seismic activity, not like Japan does. But also the eastern seaboard does not get a lot. I've lived eastern seaboard here for almost like 18 years now, almost something like 16 years, something like that. And I think the worst one I had was like 2011 or something. It was like near DC, and I had been drinking the night before. So when I woke up and the earthquake hit, I thought, okay, I need to go back to bed. I'm just fucking drunk. I'm just drunk. And I thought, I was like, oh, well, I drank way more than I thought I did. And then my friend's like, oh, you feel the earthquake? I was like, oh God, thank God
Listen,
you
we
felt
had a
it. Okay, I'm
6.2
fine. So
earthquake and I slept through it, so don't feel bad.
exactly. So the here that this is a really old bedrock. There is a fault line that does run up here. It's true. It goes all the way to the what's that one that's in closer to the Midwest near like Illinois, Ohio Valley. What is it called? The new something something. It sounds Spanish every time I hear it. Madrid. The new Madrid fault line.
I think they're all kind of Spanish too, because you have like San Andreas, then yeah.
Yeah, these on the East Coast, the Appalachian, this is one of the most secure places. That's why you have Mount Weather and you have Site R, Fort Ritchie, all of them in this very old tectonic region that does not have a lot of, we don't have a lot of disruption. Once you get to the Appalachians, you're fairly high above sea level. It is operationally really good place to be. You got Monticello up there, and it's where the president's mansions were always lining the side of the Appalachians because it's stable ground. It's high up, it's inland enough that you're not right on the face of everything. You got great wilderness and resources. It's a great place to have bunkers. Same thing with Colorado being especially Boulder being the only city that's literally called the Mile High City because it's a mile above sea level for that entire area, and that's why it's utilized. And I learned this from Greg Reese that the Queen of England owns land right outside the Denver airport. I didn't know that. It's crazy. Why is she getting stuff out there? But yeah, apparently the royals have bought some. It's not just Bill Gates buying all the farmland. The Rockies are being bought up by the Queen. Well, I
Oh
guess
god.
she's dead. The king. Sorry, the king.
The ginger. Is that the ginger? Anyways. It's funny, like the first time you hosted a space, the first time that I heard of you, let's just say, or witnessed you at work, was you had a space about the pole shift that literally gave me anxiety for like a week. My dad is a geographer, geologist, right? And you were talking about also like earthquakes and like faults and pole shift potential. And I asked my dad about it because that's kind of his field, right? And he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, what the heck? And he's like, well, the poles are kind of like consistently shifting. It's not impossible that they could shift all of a sudden, but for some reason they're really hiding that idea that the poles could shift all of a sudden. It's just kind of strange, and I just thought that was like that was just so weird that my dad was just like, oh yeah, she's right. I'm like,
there's a book you can read. You can find it. Hopefully, you can. Actually, it should be on my archive in terms of not on my uploads, but it'd be in my collections. It's a book by the name of a man, Chan Thomas. He's a scientist, and obviously the author of this book. It's a very short book. I read it in under 2 hours. It's a quick read, but it is a book that was classified. Actually, two instances. It was classified. The entire book was classified by the CIA twice. And it's the most comprehensive and probably infamous book on the pole shift theory that exists. It's really a great read, very intriguing. It gets kind of spiritual at the end where he's talking about biblical themes and stuff, which is it's very interesting. But he describes it, and the question is, why did it get classified? And the shill rumor is among the Fed slop is like, oh, it was an accident twice. I don't know. You're calling my CIA incompetence that middle initials intelligence. So I don't know.
I thought that it was because it was making accusation towards like the Vatican or something like that.
No, it doesn't even talk about the Vatican. When I say religious, they're talking about like the birth of a new, like in the Bible, it says that this world will, go away and that God has done this before. They've wiped the earth clean. He said he wouldn't do it again the same way. But we do have biblical reference of like the earth being completely changed over, right? And he was making an allusion to that with how that would essentially appear if this happened in the past, which they believe it has, especially with the Younger Dryas event, right? That this was an idea of what could have possibly caused that, other than a meteor impact. The other theory is a pole shift theory, and there's a lot. I could go all day into catastrophism and the study of that and how that's really taken a nosedive ever since around the death of Einstein is when it kind of tanked in this country, and you can blame a CIA agent named Charles Hapgood for that. He's the scientist who wrote the papers with Einstein and left his name on the third paper, which Einstein had nothing to do with because he died, but the name is still on the paper because they worked on the prior two. And Charles Hapgood completely shifted from the original two authorships from Einstein's original theory of crustal displacement. That's where they shifted from pole shift to crustal displacement, which to this day is considered the geological standard for what we think happens. They still believe the continents shifted and it's just the crust that moves atop the deeper cores of the earth. And there's plenty of scientists that negate that. Famously, Graham Hancock is one of the people that argues against that very much. But
Hancock,
he's considered
that you
fringe for
said?
doing so.
Hancock, you said?
Yeah, Graham Hancock.
Yeah, I
He's been
think
on Joe
that's the
Rogan a
one.
lot.
Yeah, I think that's the one my dad said he thinks he's fucking crazy.
That's the thing. Everyone thinks he's crazy. Everybody, and that's the question we have to come up with. Like, what's crazy these days? Is it really because conspiracy theorists and critical thinkers are kind of batting 1,000 right now. They've kind of been batting 1,000 for a while. The vaccines, they killed it. Epstein, they killed it. They've been kind of on point, except for the Q-tards. They fucked it all up. But other than that, the real conspiracy theorists that are not politically aligned but just aligned towards truth, they've been batting 1,000. I think Graham Hancock is treated like a pariah in his profession because he dares to question the narrative. And I do admire critical thinking minds that don't mind being pariahed because of their opinions. So I give him value. I don't know shit about geology or ancient history of geology. I don't know any of that. I have to just defer to the same experts we all do. In that, I do know that they don't like his opinion and that they do everything they can to discredit the entire conversation. And when that happens, I don't know about everyone else, but my government in America, that's kind of a red flag. When they just want to dead the issue, like saying, oh, the Epstein files are a hoax, forget it, who's talking about that creep? When they do shit like that, like, oh, Graham Hancock's crazy, bullshit, never, shut up. Like when they do that, I tend to just reactionarily just be like, nope, I'm going to go the opposite direction.
But
But
let's
that's
say
not
if
my
he
fault.
was right, what would it do? Like, what if? Like, does that
We don't
jeopardize
know,
like
but there's
territories?
speculation. It would be imagine the worst weather extremes from every possible weather pattern all at the same time in every location, every volcano going off, 8.0 earthquakes on every stable ground over every fault line. Tsunamis would arise from this after major landfalls, and it would be like kind of like how they describe it in like the Hopi prophecy or in Revelations and some pieces where the mountains crash down upon each other, the earth it just breaks open, and it's just literally hell on earth is what it would be like. But that's just based on mythos and potential. So there's no we don't know. Is the truthful answer. We don't know.
It's more like it would cause like panic but oh well.
Panic is something that would come in the forefront, which is I don't think people have to worry about panic. Like, yeah, I might give some people anxiety with these topics, and I
Oh, you
apologize.
definitely did
It's
for
not my
me.
intention.
But
But
everything
like,
does. So
they're not going to tell us though. Like, if any of this was true and actually indicative of some sort of cataclysmic event, or at least indicative of continuity of government, which would imply a coming cataclysmic event of some nature, whether it's nuclear or it's natural, it doesn't really matter. It would be a threat to all people. And I know, for many, many reasons, the government would not tell us with any sort of discernible, meaningful amount of time. They couldn't tell us, and I don't blame them. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I think it's ethically and morally wrong not to alert people as soon as you know. But all experience has shown the government, by and large, will not tell you. And the proof of that is the PEADs, the Presidential Emergency Action Directives, because those go on for those existential reasons. But we've never heard of a single one, but we do know they exist. We just have, but when have we been in that existential moment? We don't even know because they won't tell us when, where, what, So we know it goes on. It's just a matter of actually finding out, and we're not going to be told because it's not in their policy to tell us.
I
And
just want to
also, it
know
would
what's
not be good
going
for them if
on.
we found out and freaked out, because
I,
that's chaos.
I just want to know what's going on up there in Antarctica, because my DJI drone won't make it all the way there without freezing.
Do it. There's some flat earthers that pay you some good money to get that thing down there. I'm not one of them. I believe in a round earth like a normal person. But
No, I believe in a round Earth. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, there's people that try to like fly their own plane, and they came back to point A. Therefore, it's round. Like, it's not that hard. Plus, all the physics equation for gravity would just be all skewed up. So it just doesn't make sense.
I agree. I think it's silly, but there's some people, close friends of mine, that think it's very, very serious. Thank you, Josie, for your questions.
Yeah.
And like, you should prod your dad and go check out that book. It's called, but the name of it is The Adam and Eve Story. I told you the name of the author Chan Thomas, spelt the way it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
The book is very easy to remember, The Adam and Eve Story. So it's available for free on the archive. I would check my collections for it. I'm certain it's in there if they haven't deleted it. It's a great book. You can read it in a couple hours. So check it out. Run it past your dad. Maybe he knows some stuff that in that book that could enlighten us all. But thank you, Josie. Go ahead, Citizen. I got you, and then I got JP right after you. I don't see any other hands. I will refresh. If I'm missing hands, I'll find out after Citizen here. So go ahead, Citizen, jump in.
Yeah, it's interesting hearing you talk about bunkers, and the picture that you paint. It's easy to come to certain conclusions, even if there are unknowns. Even all the simulations that they go through with the grid going down, pandemics. We know that they have the ability.
Okay, I left. What do you want? Little fucker. Hi, TVT07. What's up? I'm cold. I think I'm gonna go to bed. I'm kind of tired. Yeah, there's one person here. That bone? Yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop this because I'm just really tired. I'll be back tomorrow.